Hey, it's Catherine with resinobsession.com, and today I'm going to show you a couple different techniques to finish your resin jewelry. You may notice sometimes when you make resin jewelry that you'll get edges on the jewelry, and they're little sharp edges or they're a little unsightly, or as in the case of these, I over poured them so you can see you had some resin spillage out the side of your mold and you get these unsightly tags. And maybe you're wondering, how can we get rid of those? Well, there's a couple different techniques we can try today. Now these earrings, you can see the outside shape of these looks really good, but what the problem comes with, let me zoom in a little, is actually that we've got these sharp edges where the resin worked its way up the side. So the way I like to get rid of these is to actually sand them down. And when I sand resin, I like to start with a 400 grit wet, dry sandpaper. Do it on a flat surface, and when you sand, you want to make sure that your sandpaper and your surface is wet. And the reason I like to do it this way is because I want to make sure I get an even sand all the way around. If you just sand one edge at a time, you may sand off more than another. And so when I do this, I put the resin down and I just go around in a circle and kind of change my direction from time to time, rotate the piece around just to make sure you stay even, and then pick it up and just see how much you've sanded off. So we're making a little bit of progress, and just keep sanding till you get what you like. If you want to completely sand it back, obviously take it down as far as you would like to go. If you just want to take off the edges enough so it doesn't, hurt yourself when you're wearing your earrings, then that's fine too. Certainly it's a personal preference. So keep sanding until you get what you like. I'm starting here with a 400 grit sandpaper. If you want a smoother finish, once you get it sanded down, then you can use something like a 600 or even larger number grit to get it. So comparing these, you can see we've taken off our edge just a little bit here. This is the one that hasn't been sanded. This is the one that has. And so you can see we've made a little bit of a difference. At this point, if you wanted to stop, if you're okay with this, then you can. Otherwise, you would keep going and keep sanding. Now, you're probably wondering, what do we do with the ones that are overfilled? And what we're going to do here is there's a couple different techniques that we can employ to get these all cleaned up. So you can see right here we've got some really big pieces where we've kind of over poured. Well, the first thing I would tell you is just take a pair of heavy-duty kitchen shears and just trim them. And you want to get as close as you can without, distorting your circle. But just go ahead and trim them off and work your way around. So once you've got it trimmed up some that you're ready to go, then your other option too is also to use the sandpaper. Now when you're doing the sandpaper technique, once again, don't sand for a little bit and then turn and don't sand for a little bit. You want to keep it moving, and that's because you want to make sure you don't have like the stop sign look to your earring. So as you sand, kind of hold it and turn it at the same time. Resin is very soft, so it won't take but a few swipes to start taking off some good resin. So you can see right here, we've already got, starting to get a nice edge here. And you just want to keep working your way around, obviously, until you get it the way you like it. Now, as you can see here, though, we've got some pieces here on the inside, and you may be wondering, how are we going to get that off? Well, same concept. You can do that. You can pick up your wet, dry sandpaper and try and go on the inside like that if it's just a little bit. Or since there's a little more that's going to take a little longer for us to get off, we can do something like use a flex shaft. So using a flex shaft to drill off some resin is a great way to get a lot off in a hurry. So before you get started using a flex shaft, you want to make sure that you are wearing safety goggles, and you also want to make sure that you're wearing a dust mask because you don't want to breathe the resin particles. So the attachment I'm using for my flex shaft today is actually a piece that is split lengthwise, and I've fed a piece of 600 grit wet dry sandpaper onto this edge. And what I'm going to do is hold the flex shaft in my palm using my thumb as a brace, and I'm going to go along the inside here to take off some of these rough pieces you can see that I've got cast. So there you go. You can see we've already taken off some good points. If I were to keep going, I'd go ahead and take those off there and those there, but really it's a personal preference. Once you get it looking the way you like it, then stop. Now you might notice that you have some other tight cracks and crevices that you need to get some resin off of. A couple of my other favorite tools are a heavy-duty nail file. You can get these at a beauty supply store, and they're great for just taking off a little bit of resin in one spot where you just need to touch it up a little bit. The other thing I really like too are these diamond needle files. These are small files. They have little diamonds embedded on them. They can sand down stuff in a hurry, and as you can see, they can really get into some tight cracks and crevices. So that gives you another option for getting some resin off. If you have any other questions about how to finish up your resin projects, leave your questions in the box below. Stop by the resinobsession.com blog and jewelry making forum. We're happy to help you with your resin casting questions. Thanks for stopping by today.